So, of course, there are merits to an authoritative canon. We have this canon that has guided us out of all the texts, what we should focus on so that we don't get overwhelmed. It guides us so we know how to act as humans, so we can be the love that Jesus asked us to be. And with that, it gives us the unity to come together, to say, yes, we are devoted to Jesus and his path of love. At the same time, I think we have to be aware of the drawbacks if our intention is to truly know God. And one of them that stood out to me the most is, who has the authority? Who gets to choose what's included, what isn't? And so what we really have to remember is what a rebel Jesus was for his time. I mean, he asked us to treat one another equally, whether you're a slave, whether you're a woman, whether you're a man. And Rome was not having this. Rome was like, if you're going to be Christian, you're going to be persecuted for it. And that was the way it was for 250 years after Jesus' crucifixion. So then what happened? Did Rome just turn nice and decide, oh, we want you to be our religion? Well, for Rome, what they saw was that Christianity was continuing to spread, even though it was illegal, because there was a belief in one kingdom and one God. And Rome, the divided, torn apart Rome, loved this idea of one kingdom. And so, of course, so for Rome, this was a win. For Christian leaders, this was a win. Great. We get to spread the love of Jesus. But was 3rd and 4th century Rome ready to really embrace how Jesus gave dignity to the poor, to the slaves, to women? I don't think so. So now, how do we make amends with this? Well, we have church leaders that were men that were also from this time, so they're going to take probably more the palatable teachings of Jesus. Still Jesus' teachings, still important, but ones that Rome would say, okay, we can go with this. And so it's important to be able to see that, you know, there was likely some compromise going on. And I think we can start to understand why this may be, because Scripture itself tells us that the disciples struggled with Jesus' teachings. You know, they argued, they doubted amongst themselves and with Jesus. So it's kind of likely that these church leaders did as well during that time. But the good news is that we have Scripture that is pointing us to something that I think isn't acknowledged enough. And that is, out of all the people that Jesus could have chosen to appear to, he chose Mary Magdalene. And she was able to see him and hear what he had to say. So this isn't just choosing anything. This is Mary Magdalene, who without her, we would not have Christianity. And her gospel also points to that, yes, the disciples struggled, especially with some of the feminine wisdom principles that Jesus embodied. Now, at the same time, does every sacred text reveal more of the love of God? No, because just like today, there's different groups of Christians with different agendas. But at the same time, if we hold on too tightly to something just because we know it, just to keep us comfortable, I think we're missing the essence of Jesus, which was, let me wake you up to the love that is available through us now at this time. And so for me, I felt like I owed it to Jesus to both learn and understand the disciples' point of view. And, you know, they're human. They fled out of fear. And to take in Mary Magdalene, who remained steadfast. Despite her own trials and tribulations, she was there. And so I want to learn from her as well as other gospels that to me share a more inclusive view of what Jesus had to share. So I hope, going from both sides, it gives you where you may stand with this, but really, I don't think Jesus cares what we read or what we don't read. I think Jesus wants you to know that you are loved And the more you know that you are loved, I think the more easier it is for us to love one another as we desire to be loved.